At least one team that I support won yesterday.
Call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man!
Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No! Man!
Old man.
He's so old, he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade.
It's y'all motherfuckers ready and what? And welcome to the Old Man Wade Show. I am your host, the God of Stubborn, the Lord of Laughter, Old Man Wade. And to my left, we got the genius, on my left, we got my co-host, Supa Woke. Howdy.
Yo!
To my far right, we have the genius of justification, Just Greg.
What's up?
And to my right, we got the creator of the Bone Eater King in Marrow Dust, which is available on Amazon in paperback and for Kindle. What up, Steve?
What's up, guys?
How's everyone doing today?
Pretty good.
I feel these motherfuckers up full of chicken.
Oh yeah, I didn't eat any chicken.
I got some jerking. I jerked one of them.
I lost my appetite.
He jerked the chicken.
Not because of that.
He put jerk on the chicken.
I walked right into that.
And then he rubbed it.
Yeah,
He rubbed it all in the chicken.
I don't want any of your jerked chicken.
I didn't rub the jerk on the chicken.
You definitely rubbed the jerk on the chicken.
Alright, yo, where the hell is this going? Alright, what's on the docket today?
Since we want to talk about that, let's get more comfortable. Number one, we have Batman shows his dick.
Damn it, Wade.
Hey, you asked.
Alright, so
Nobody asked for it, though.
yeah, you've been showing me a lot of dicks lately. Pause.
I'm not showing you dicks. Someone talked about if you're famous and you're nude, I want to see it.
But why is it always? Can we like
I showed the first nudity I showed you was Jennifer Lawrence.
diversity? 50% of us are female, man. Come on.
What? Okay, so
In this room?
yeah, I'm
No,
like,
just in life.
Oh.
Mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, because I thought we were all dudes.
I'm about to say, like, go on the gentleman's thread more.
You're right.
You see, you hear the shit he talking, Greg?
You're right.
All that shit he talking about the penis, man, and all he has to do is click on the gentleman's thread.
Hold on. Actually, no. Here's the thing. You're right.
I know I'm right.
But
Oh God,
I'd rather have less dicks in my life.
I don't send dicks to the. I'm currently showing Steve the gentleman's club thread, and this is what we do. Yeah, we're trash. We don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Whatever.
So you guys don't really care about Batman showing his dick?
I don't, because it was mostly shadows, and to be honest with you, it was drawn like not the dick, but it was really good artwork. Like it looked really. It reminded me of like Alex Ross. Who's the artist in that? It's Batman Damned, right? That's the run.
I feel like there was homework, and I just didn't know about the homework. Greg, did you do the homework?
No, I wouldn't say I did.
I wasn't even sure if Greg was coming. Like last minute, he was like, "You still doing this?" I'm like, "Yeah, we still doing it." I wasn't sure because you a busy man. You got stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Homework.
I'm a busy guy.
Homework.
Yeah. You know, come on, man. You know the Old Man Wade Show. We're all about.
Did they not know what the? Did they not know what the motto is? What our sigil is?
Sigil. You're trash as fuck.
The most unprofessional professional podcast.
I can't use that anymore.
Why?
That's Noriega's the Drink Champs thingy.
You're worried about copyrights now? All right.
I'm
trying to get that spot.
I'm worried about getting shot or beat up by Noriega. Fucking with him.
Does Manuel Noriega have a podcast now?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The art's done by Lee Bermejo.
No speakable content can be found on.
And Greg over here starting the Terminator apocalypse.
I'm bad.
Anyway, so who's the artist?
It was Lee Bermejo.
Yes, actually pretty nice. So honestly, I probably would have felt a little issue with it if it was just
a little issue. I see what you did there.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Commence talking about your Batman dick pic.
Is this like from one panel of one comic or something?
Yeah, it's literally one panel from one comic, and like, cause what it was is,
if I look up Batman's dick,
I'll just show it to you.
He's like, no, I got it right here already. It's already queued up.
And it's not explicit. It's literally him changing out of his Batman suit.
Yeah, it was just
it's like a shadowy, artsy looking thing. It's not anything crazy.
But it was just weird. It was just like, oh, nowhere, boom, Batman dick. I'm like, okay.
Did anybody read this book?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just know that there was a Batman penis in it.
Mission not accomplished then?
Don't bother me, none. It's just a dick. I see mine all the time.
Alright.
I watch porn, so there's penis in my porn.
Okay, can we stop talking about dicks?
You don't want to get bringing it up?
I think two of the 5 topics tonight were actually
That's
dick
what I'm
based.
saying.
So let's just skip the topic where I talk about all the superheroes who I think are and are not hung.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is going to be a very uncomfortable episode. For
Like
you.
Juggernaut
I
is
got swag too.
Like Juggernaut is definitely not hung, by the way. Like he's too angry to like be like he's like so big. Like I figure like he's just too angry to like not have a big dick. Are you ignoring me, Javi?
I'm ignoring you.
Are you gonna play Angry Birds now?
The Bone Eater King, a Predator World Tale by
Steve Van Samson, that's me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
actually have one of the books is right up there actually.
We were handed some swag here. Pretty good art. I remember, I wasn't on that episode, but I do remember listening to the pod that you were featured on.
Cool.
And I do remember, oh man, you posted a picture with your book actually in a window
Yeah.
in a bookstore.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty.
Yeah, that is actually a little bookstore that just opened up in Dover, New Hampshire. It's called A Free Thinker's Corner, and it's really, really cool place. They have a lot of like local artists, and they have paintings. They have a room, it's all paintings and stuff, and they're gonna have like different galleries for certain local artists each month, I guess.
Is there a book signing?
And then there's I don't have anything scheduled,
Okay.
but I'm hoping to get in there to do a signing. But yeah, it's a really awesome little place, and they have like, you know, local authors, they have big authors, they have, you know, all sorts of stuff. They actually have a kids section,
Yeah.
and there's like a local girl, and I think she was like 13 or something. She has a book published and in there. It's
All right,
pretty cool.
We talking about your book though. 13-year-old, whatever.
Screw
Yeah,
that.
screw that. Yeah. How about your book? Like, so I remember the last time I heard about your book.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I haven't read it.
Okay. Neither have I. I have no
You
idea.
haven't read it?
Nah,
No,
I
you just
don't-
wrote it. No,
I don't know what it's about.
I heard it was okay.
He didn't get that from me. I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
So yeah, so the last, where are you in the process? Like, where are you in your writing progress? Like, you already have this book on the shelves.
I got 2.
2 books.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is the second one here. This is the sequel.
All right.
I was kind of hoping to talk about. The second one's called Marrow Dust.
I mean, we here now. Let's talk about it now.
Cool.
I'm just trying to change the subject from dicks, and you gave
Yeah.
us the swag. So it's just
Hey.
You
said,
think Dracula has a big dick?
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
Here's another question. Do you think vampire vagina is warm?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Can't be. It can't be. It's literally physically impossible.
And you would know. You're the expert in vampirism. Right?
Well, you know, the thing about vampires is they're fake.
Yes.
So being not real at all,
Yeah.
you can sort of just make up your own rules. And that.
So,
that's
oh man, it
definitely
can be
what I-
whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Can vampires breathe?
Do you want them to breathe?
I don't know.
I remember there were like conveniently episodes of Buffy and Angel where Angel would be like, I can't give this person CPR, I have no breath. And I'd be like, what? You were outside 5 minutes ago and there were puffs coming out of your lips. Like, come
I was
on.
talking to Diddy about that. He said he mentioned that exact episode, and then said something to the effect that Spike did something that like involved breath, and it like confused him.
Yeah, it was just like convenience in this one episode. They're like, oh, wouldn't it be neat? Do vampires have breath? And it's like, wait, the show's been on for 7 seasons though. Like, did we ever think of this before?
So my question is this: so your book is about vampires,
That's correct.
right?
Vampires and monsters
If
Where? Hold on, let's just where are these vampires located?
which is pretty cool.
in Africa.
That's where in Africa.
So the first one takes place in Tanzania.
Okay.
And the second one, Marrow Dust, actually takes place in Kenya, which is right next door. And it is exclusively it's on Mount Elgon.
Is that a real world place?
Yep, real
Okay.
world place. Actually, everything in these books is like the geographic stuff is all completely accurate. So like I did a lot of Google Earth and a lot of just like looking at satellite photos and stuff and trying to figure out like where things were in relation to other things and how, you know, basically like could they walk this far in a night, you know, and trying to figure out like what was possible.
So
lot of like tourist photos I got to see. It's pretty cool.
Did you look at any inspiration like in like other films or books that like deal with the continent?
Well, in the last episode, I was on Wade's show. This particular, damn it, Wade. We were talking about that actually, and there's a story that kind of was the germ of the idea of having vampires in a place that I hadn't seen them before.
Yeah,
and specifically in Africa, it's a story called Hills of the Dead by Robert E. Howard, and he's the guy who wrote the Conan the Barbarian stories. And so it was a story about like his character Solomon Kane going to Africa and having this like crazy vampire adventure, and I really liked that story. But what I wanted to do is to not tell a story about a stranger in a strange land. You know, I wanted to just tell a story about Africans in Africa. So I decided that, okay, well, like this is a global. The story takes place about 20 years after there was a vampire apocalypse or something. It's kind of like Walking Dead. They don't really ever talk about specifically what happened. But it's about 20 years later, so
and you don't have to spoil anything for anybody. So.
Yep. But okay.
Make sure they buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book.
But yeah,
you ain't getting no free previews over here.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Well, you can get some little insider information. You get a little reward for listening.
Even Conan does the things where they kind of like give little snippets and previews and stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, so it takes place. Just it's a global thing. This happened everywhere. It just so happened that the story you're hearing is here in Africa. So,
and these are 2 books, right? So
2 different books. Yeah.
So the first one in the series is
Bone Eater King.
The Bone Eater King.
The Bone Eater King. Yeah. And the Bone Eater King is like this big, giant, like uber vampire creature because in this world, because like I said, hey, vampires are fake, so you make it up, right? Like so what I tried to do is to take certain things that were vampire lore that I had seen before, we've all seen before, like I had to think like, do I want them to only be killed with a stake to the heart? Do I want them to be allergic to sunlight or whatever? There's certain things like that. So I said, well, all right, for sure the sunlight thing. There's also water it burns them. Just water burns them in general.
Is that a vampire thing in general?
Well, it's not always a vampire thing. I've seen it before.
It doesn't have to be holy water.
It is a thing that vampires generally can't cross water.
Okay.
So I sort of used that and said, okay, I'm gonna use that one. And then I came up with
this
thing.
Do they sparkle in the daylight?
They never sparkle.
Okay.
They never sparkle.
Right.
So this is one of the things.
It's a Twilight reference.
You tell me if I'm talking too much.
No. That's it.
But if I tote one horn of my own, I was pretty happy about that. I thought, okay, well, the stupidest one I've always felt was the stupidest vampire thing is garlic.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, why garlic? Why would? Because garlic's like supposedly it's in Dracula, and supposedly they just hate it, and it's never explained. So what I said was. Because vampires have like heightened senses, they can smell, they can hear, they can see far better than we can, right?
Just randomly, if they can't breathe.
Okay, I'm gonna push past it.
And that's why I asked. Like, so if you had to make, say, Josh Whedon comes up to you.
Yeah. Oh, so mine breathe. Yeah, mine breathe. Yeah.
Which makes sense. But I also know that all these vampires is like, first off, if they can't breathe, they shouldn't be able to talk.
So, but
there's like these random things in there.
Right.
But I like the fact that you've actually explained the fact that like your vampires do that.
It's the power cosmic.
It's all the power cosmic.
Yeah, just basically like.
But so I'm like, all right, well, if the vampires can smell super well, then everything's got to smell gross. Right, like
yeah.
So my thought was like,
well, my dog has
garlic,
a really good sense of smell, and he eats
his own poop.
So,
well, for vampires,
that might be like filet mignon to him.
For real.
I was thinking like, well, technically, garlic is really pungent, so like it's just they're grossed out by it. So that's like sort of the start of that legend. That's like the seed of truth within that. So and the way there's a character in the first book, and her name
the Bone Eater King.
Yeah, the Bone Eater King.
First book in the
Predator World series.
There you go. Yeah.
And so she is the second main character. Her name's Marela Nanji, and usually just call her Ray. And she dresses in. We meet her, and she's dressed in like these grasses. She has these plumes of grasses, and she looks sort of more tribal or something like that. Tree? But she's the one in the tree, yeah. Okay. And so the reason that she dresses in these grass plumes is because the grass is dead.
Yeah.
You pluck it, it starts to decay. Now, if you've ever smelled like a compost heap or something, like gone somewhere, or left flowers in a vase too long, it smells so disgusting. Like, so, I've always just like been struck by how disgusting plants can smell when they rot. Like, my God, a vase full of flowers, and I pull it out, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a whiff here because I'm stupid.
Like that vase water and all the stuff.
Oh my God, it's like getting punched in the throat. It's so bad.
All right,
So she wears those.
Yeah.
She wears the grass because the grass gets plucked. It starts to decay. It smells fine to us because we can't smell it. But the vampires are a little bit turned off by it. So she gets this little added like layer of protection by wearing these like plumes of dead grass all over her. And the vampire is kind of like, if they saw her, they would go after her. But it helps her like be disguised out in the plains because this takes place like on the Serengeti, the first one. And so it's just vast open plains, grasslands.
well, that's the question. Like the setting, it's in Africa, and I know I just so happen to be like I've studied African literature, and I've studied. This might go in a whole different area.
Cool,
and I've
cool,
studied how Western culture
Yeah.
not assimilates, but looks at African culture, right? And a lot of the criticisms that you see today about how we used to show Africa, right, was as a barren place, as a place where nobody really exists, right? A scary place, like an ugly place, right? But from what you're telling me, it looks like you've put a lot of thought into it, and you've created a vibrant setting. You've created a world where people exist outside of like Western culture. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. The second book, Marrow Dust, it's on, like I said, it's on this mountain, this Mount Elgon.
Yeah.
It is absolutely unbelievable.
You should go visit these places.
I would have loved to. I did a lot of research. I wanted to stay with the Maasai. You can do. There's a Maasai camp you can do, and literally just like.
So the Maasai, they're nomadic.
Yep, nomadic. Their whole life revolves around their cattle.
Yep.
So the big thing, like traditionally with Maasai, when they would go through like a manhood ceremony, and they would become a warrior. The way that you do that would be to go kill a lion. Yeah. And they would have to go do it like with their bare hands. So like just go out, you go kill a lion, however you can. And they would come back and they would be like a celebrity. Like they would have the tribe would have like a parade. They'd be like the celebrity of the day or whatever. And it was like a big deal, and they're now a man, right? So the reason for that is because the lions prey on the cattle, right? So their entire life is moving around just with their cows. So that has changed, and I learned this, and actually the guy in this picture here, he's nameless throughout the book. He's really the main character.
So in this swag, there's 3 images here, right? Yeah. There's a monster guy.
Yep, in the background. That's the Bone Eater King.
Bone Eater King. Yeah. I'm assuming a Maasai female warrior?
No, that's Marela Nanji. Okay. She's wearing her grass, so she's actually from Uganda.
Okay, all right.
And the dude down below he's just called the Man in Red. Okay. And he starts out the book, and he has amnesia. He doesn't know what he is or who he is or where he is or anything.
One of the things I love about the book was the way you described, the way you brought, like, the words brought to life what the setting looked like when he was running, the way he felt, the way he was breathing. When he was being hunted, like the laughter in the dark, and like all of it leading up into Ray saying the Bone Eater King, or like how like dangerous this predator was. And it's a testament to you to like actually be able to do this work, like, you know what I mean? Because anyone can just take a book and go, oh, I'm just gonna talk about Washington Street because I know Washington Street, but you put the work in to bring this thing to life. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, like, how simple. I'll probably go to the next subject soon, but like, if you want, how would somebody listening to this, or one of us, how would somebody go about publishing and
Oh,
getting
you wanna
something
talk
out,
about
going
that?
from, you know, an idea to getting your book out there. Because I think a lot of people want to do something like this, but they never really do it.
They don't have like the means to do it, and like
or the motivation, or. You know.
Well, you can go two routes. You can traditional publishing,
Yeah.
which means that generally you would have to have a literary agent, which I don't have.
Yeah.
They're kind of hard to get. More and more people self-publish, which is the other route.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a saturated thing now that it didn't really used to be like that. You know, now everybody can do it. It's just like music too. Everybody makes their own music. Everybody makes their own books. Everybody makes their own everything, and you can just more and more can just put stuff out.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
upload it
well,
on SoundCloud. Now
Right.
you can upload on Spotify as like an indie artist.
yeah, like I do that now,
Yeah.
like the podcast.
Yeah,
now,
actually,
on,
yeah.
on Spotify. Greg,
Comicsology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Greg, you talk. Yeah, Comicsology. Like
I
a lot
saw
of
that.
independent artists and comic book dudes are
It's
doing.
very easy to publish.
Greg, you listen to the Joe Budden podcast as you do. I don't know if you do, but like he talks about how a lot of industries, all of these big businesses, they're in trouble because now the artist can go directly to the consumer.
right.
It's a creator's market.
It's a double-edged sword. So it enables people who wouldn't able to traditionally get their stuff out there to get out there, but it also means that the markets are all flooded and nobody knows where to look. So there's it's a double-edged sword. But as a creative person, if you're not as concerned about the success part of it, if your point is as a musician or a writer or whatever, it's pretty nice being able to hold your own book. And I can say that for myself because I did self-publish
Twice.
That's amazing, man. Like, seriously.
So now I'm a graphic designer by trade. So like,
How come I didn't come to you to do the damn website?
I don't know,
Bobby,
but
was gonna get the website. What's have you do it?
but so I can do stuff. So I did the
What happened to that
jackets.
guy?
Well,
The person was supposed to do the website.
I don't want to talk about that.
All right, never mind.
No,
All right, sorry.
Pat moved to Seattle.
Jesus Christ. All right, never mind. Sorry about that.
No problem.
He just opened up an old wound.
It
He's still
stings.
really, it's just like
The salt.
he just got super busy, man.
I understand that.
You just got super woke right now. Just like
I see what you did there.
No animosity. I understand being busy. Just
Yeah, shit, if anyone understands it, it's you.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the book. Just because I don't want people to think that. Well, fuck you. It might be about the whole damn book. So if you don't like it, turn the fucking thing off. Support your friends, assholes. Let's just stand on the vampire thing. Greg, are you a vampire movie guy?
I used to be really big into vampire movies, but there hasn't really been
no, there hasn't.
any vampire
Now,
movies.
did you like 30 Days a Night?
I did.
Have you read
I
the,
think that's like the last really good vampire movie.
Can I tell you, the comic book 30 Days a Night is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
start
never read it.
to finish, and as good as the movie was, it didn't do the comic book justice because there's a scene, and I think I sent this to you, and I know I sent the image to you, where the vampires are there, they're all proud of themselves, they found this place, and the big vampire looks at him and goes, "Oh, you think you got all figured out?" And he slaps the shit out of him and goes, "You stupid motherfucker. No, you arrogant motherfucker." He goes, "Our whole thing is being, like, mysterious." And he was pissed off. And as opposed to, like, the movie, where there was, like, it was like a feeding frenzy. Like, these vampires were smart. They weren't just kind of, like, primitive.
Well, I remember in the movie, like, the deal was at the end, they had to clean up and make it so they weren't there.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever know that they were there. So I think maybe in the movie, even though it was a little different, they felt like they were safe because they were so cut off.
Yeah.
And then, as long as we clean up before we go, it'll be okay.
And the other thing about it was, with the comic book, the two people who were divorced in there, they were actually together and they had love. Which I thought it was weird that would be a thing they would take out.
Yeah.
And make it a broken relationship, because the content of the comic book was better with that.
As always.
Yeah, but
Name
That's
movie
another.
better than the comic book.
V for Vendetta maybe.
Really, dude?
I might. You know what it is? It's watching something come to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And watching it being like that poetic.
There was so much content missing.
There was a lot of content missing. Like, one of my favorite moments was when he was yelling at Lady Liberty, and like how, like, he was like, he's like, you failed me. You were supposed to protect me. And it was a deep, deep thing. But the problem with it is to take all that in there. I think everyone in here realizes V's insane. Yeah. Like, he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the man alliterates. No sane person just starts.
Yeah, if you lived in a dystopian
words.
London like that,
you'd be vivaciously, viving.
I'd be stabbing a bunch of people with knives and
V-shaped mind.
Talking in poems.
Talking in V poems.
But is it V or is it Roman numeral 5? Like,
it's both and none at the same time.
5 for vendetta.
Okay, vampires.
V vampires.
And we're back.
So that really was the last good vampire movie.
Well, I mean, you know what I love about it is
you guys know, like, Twilight wasn't. Did it change your
definitely
lives?
Definitely not. No sparkling. Actually, one of the taglines I post on Twitter about my books is that these vampires don't sparkle.
Come on, admit. I remember before we started recording, you say that Twilight was the inspiration.
Oh God! Don't do that. Don't do that to him, man.
These are lies.
I just lied. He's a metal singer. Let's not. He's a metal singer. Let's not do that, man.
I just lied. Beat me up.
I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm definitely not beating anybody up.
Twilight is not metal.
I like the scarier vampires. Let's say with that. I mean, I go back to Bela Lugosi and stuff, and I love old vampire stuff. But yeah, when they're scary, I like monsters. So I wanted to make monsters.
Do you know what the reason might be for like Hollywood kind of going the other way from vampires?
I can accept money.
Yeah, I think Stephanie Meyer's books just really resonated. And I think that, there was a market for the movies, and they ate them up. And then it just became... Although, you can't really fully lay it on her shoulders, though, because Anne Rice has been writing sexy vampire books since, like, the 70s or something. But she was the Interview with the Vampire. Mm-hmm. So she's been doing it for a long time, too. So I think there's been a market. Oh, actually... I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. All the way back to the 60s, Christopher Lee, who played Dracula in the Hammer movies, which are like the English vampire movies. Hammer's an English studio. They were really big in the 60s. And Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yes.
Peter Cushing.
You're talking my language now. I don't know shit about vampires.
Okay.
Yes.
So Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee were like in a million Hammer movies, and I love them. But what was my point? Yeah, so Christopher Lee was like really a sex symbol as Dracula.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, definitely there's been this like romantic sort of angle, I think, from Dracula.
We can even go back further than that with my favorite vampire movie, Bram Stoker. Like he was.
Oh, the
Bram Stoker Dracula. Was
the Francis Coppola one.
That joint was dope. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
That's Interview with a Vampire.
Okay, so see, I don't know shit.
Winona Ryder.
You know shit.
Keanu Reeves.
You got it like a little bit wrong.
Keanu Reeves. Yes.
If people sleep on the fact it was brutal, it was. Well, I wouldn't call it scary, but it was brutal. It was violent. But it was actually a really deep love story to it at the end of it. So it was like, so when people go, oh, you don't want romance, I'm like, nah. Bram Stoker's Dracula was a sexy movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. You are totally right.
So there's always been like a level of sexiness with vampires.
I can't get past Keanu Reeves' accent.
Well, I mean,
he's Keanu Reeves.
Keanu's like, I love him. All right,
he was amazing,
but he's not like.
Why'd they cast him for
good
that?
At talking? He's not good at saying words.
I say that, and I raise you devil's advocate. He was amazing.
He was Keanu Reeves in Devil's Advocate. He was a confused guy.
No, he had.
he was confused that whole movie.
I wouldn't call him confused. I call him naive.
One of my favorite sequels of all time, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. He was amazing in that.
Yo, seriously. Yeah, that was his that was the pinnacle of his acting career. Like, yo, that Journey to Hell.
Yeah, man.
That scary grandmother.
What's that movie you like with him, Hugh Laurie, in the game? Street Kings.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Now he's dope. Now he's dope.
Yeah.
Ever since like Matrix and
say what you want, man. Constantine was not a good Constantine movie, but it was a good.
It was a cool movie, though.
It was an awesome supernatural movie.
It was a supernatural noir.
And I got to see the lead singer of Bush have his face half melted off, which made me happy.
I don't get the reference.
Who cheats on Gwen Stefani? Come on. Come here. Get out of here.
Gwen Stefani can get it.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Gwen Stefani can get it. Her and Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I take down Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga got cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's stacked.
Oh. All right, we're getting off topic.
She was gonna say. So, do you guys have a favorite vampire? We'll start with Greg. You have a favorite vampire movie, or are you just kind of like, man?
I gotta think about it because it's been so long ago. It's the I feel like back in the day, I think I'd say like teenage years and whatnot, I was really big into vampire movies. And then like when I hit my 20s and the whole vampire era went away, zombies.
Yeah, zombies became the
Yeah,
thing.
you put me on the 30 days, not 30 days, and like 28 days later.
Yeah.
I like those types of zombies.
Yeah.
I can't do like the
I
dead
like
zombies.
for vampire movies, I really can't remember what my favorite was. Like I like them, but it's been so I can't remember the last time I watched.
So, why don't we do this? What's your favorite scary movie then? I'll come back to you.
Wait.
You got one?
Because, favorite. I really like Hereditary this year. It came out.
That's
Was
the
that the one?
second time. Did you bring that on the list?
You might have.
Second time I heard about that. Somebody told me about that today.
Was that the one with the?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie. That movie was
I need
pretty
to
good.
watch that.
Hereditary
Yeah,
was pretty good.
I haven't seen it yet.
I was
And
like,
Mother,
The
obviously.
Witch was good too.
I was thinking about watching that tomorrow.
So you like The Witch?
Yeah.
I had a hard time with The Witch.
The one that took they were like in 19th century
Yes,
America, and they were like,
It's in subtitles and.
you like
no, it wasn't in subtitles.
No, some of it was in.
I think
was
you.
it?
Nah.
I think I watched it with subtitles,
Or maybe I.
Yeah,
but I think I just put them on.
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
I watched that movie in Costa Rica, and luckily I was on a beach.
that is a really weird movie. No offense
Yeah.
to watch in Costa Rica.
I was
You're
thinking-
like, I'm gonna watch The Witch.
I was we were in the hotel room.
I'm gonna watch a 6'7" dude chop wood for 2
Oh,
hours.
it was so compelling though. Like that's how compelling it was.
The way it was, his technique. His technique was just so.
You know,
compelling.
in the hotel when you're sleeping, you leave the TV on. Like,
Yeah.
so it was on. I just kept watching it. It was
I
good.
also liked for a little while, not so much now. Those found footage movies.
I liked Quarantine. Quarantine was good.
Quarantine was really good. Did you watch the original?
Wreck. Yeah, I saw the first one.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't get through it.
I liked it, but I liked man, I can't remember her name, Jennifer or something, the girl from Dexter. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I was like, it's Deb.
So your favorite
Deb fighting zombies.
So your favorite movies are.
It's tough, man. I watch a lot of horror.
You don't have like a classic all
Oh,
time.
you do?
No, you got root. Like what's the word? Just sit on that.
You know what horror I stay away from because for some reason I just don't care for it. Horror movies that have to do with a haunted house.
Really?
For some reason it's not scary.
You're not with the Amityville?
No, like the
Amityville was funny as hell.
Amityville.
The remake was
what is
hilarious.
it?
The haunting. Well, there's the haunting. There's the haunting of.
The doll and the
Annabelle?
like,
Okay.
that whole thing. Like
I think I've
I
seen
just can't
Annabelle.
get into like the scary houses. If it takes place in a house where all the scares are happening, I don't
Oculus.
I saw that with the mirror. Right?
Meh.
Oculus was dope, huh?
Meh.
You didn't like Oculus? Oculus freaked me the fuck out.
But
Just because I have this whole
when
thing
I
with
think
like.
of- go ahead.
I was gonna say with Oculus, I think it's some me things. I'm always like worried about going so crazy that I don't realize things are going on. So I think that was a personal level, like crazy with that.
But
Hey man, all the power to you.
I think when it comes to like the scariest, I'm gonna have to go with the 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, that franchise because for some reason when you watch those movies, it gives me like a sense of like depression. Like I'm there, like it's so realistic. And it was one of the first movies where it was one of the first zombie movies where the zombies weren't just dragging their fucked up leg trying to get at
Yeah.
you. Like they were chasing you down. Like they were chasing you down.
Yeah, zombies
They were
run.
quick. They were nimble. They were like that. That was more realistic to me. And just everything was just dreary and just. Yeah, that when I watched the first one, I thought it was gonna be great, and it was fucking great. When I saw the second one, to me that one was great too. It was just so fucking depressing. It was realistic too, because think about being in a world where everybody's facing this outbreak, and you start to see like families and friends just freaking tear themselves apart, and there's no like the unity isn't there anymore. Like there's groups of people who are trying to keep it together and survive, and there's other people who are like, you know what, my mom just got infected. Fuck all.
Did you see Girl with All the Gifts? The Girl with All the Gifts?
I've seen that one.
That was hard. I like that one right there. Like
I never heard that.
I read the book before I watched the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So you kind of know
how the movie. The movie was really good. Did it stack up?
The movie, no,
not at all. Yeah. So the book must be amazing.
The book was really good. Really
not as good as the Bone Eater came.
But
I don't know about that.
The thing that
available.
The thing that kind of sucked about that was that when you read the book, you don't really know what you're reading yet. You get the it's read from the story's told from the girl's perspective, the little girl, and you don't quite understand what's going on until you get deep into it.
Okay, yeah.
But when the movie came out and you see the trailer, it kind of gave it all away.
The girl's she's like part of the setup.
Yeah,
sorry.
So to be fair, I didn't read the book. I didn't know much of what it was about.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there were zombies in it based on the trailer, like you said, but I still maybe I had a different experience because I hadn't read the book.
Yeah.
So I just still kind of didn't know what the hell was going on for a really long time.
Really?
So I didn't love it. I liked it for a while. I loved, I would say, the first half. I loved. And then it sort of lost me. I don't know, like by the end, I didn't like anybody.
Watch the movie.
The movie. I never read the book.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, Ray. Good?
I'm good. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna say that the 28 weeks, 28 days later franchise is my favorite. I'm looking forward to the next one. I heard they're making another one.
They did two of them, right?
They did two. So I just love to be depressed when I watch movies. I don't know why.
The next one's 28 years.
No wonder you like Cable as much as you do.
It's just fucking depressing.
Cable and Colossus, man, two of your favorite characters, and they are the most depressing fucking people ever.
Hey man, he likes what he likes.
Cable does no quips.
Cable's actually funny as fuck on the low though.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'll
like right before he kills somebody?
I'll put you on game. Greg knows. Cable's actually funny on the low. So we'll save the guest for last. Harvey, favorite horror movie?
So I have a favorite vampire movie actually too.
Right.
So favorite vampire movie is The Lost Boys.
Okay, nice.
That's my
classic.
I can watch that. I've watched.
Is that the one? How You Like Your Maggots?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my favorite horror movie is
that's not pasta you're eating, Michael.
I've lived in this place for 30 years. I got no problem with it.
Yo, I have like
goddamn vampire.
I have childhood trauma from that movie.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
That's actually a good topic for later.
Also, like the best hero dog, right? The husky in that movie is like the shit.
Saves the day.
He's the shit. I think his name's like Nanut or something, or Nanut or something.
I don't remember names.
But before
Nanook.
Look it up. Take it to the bank.
I smoke way too much. My favorite horror movie is Event Horizon.
Oh wow! What a deep cut that is.
Yeah. Is it really? And I hate that that's a deep cut because the only reason why I know about it is because me and my family were in New York when it was in theaters. They went to watch something else and I went to watch that and I'm like, this is the most. I couldn't sleep.
Dude, that is a really good pick. I am so happy you picked that.
I've never seen.
It's really different.
So I really like sci-fi.
Yeah, I love sci-fi.
I like my horror movies. There has to be a scientific basis.
Just give you a heads up. It is Nanook.
Nanook.
N-A-N-U-K.
There you go. Nanook. Yeah, I know what's up.
That's a very Inuit name. I'm guessing that was the inspiration.
Supa Woke's on game. So Supa Woke is always on game.
Yeah, I
don't want to tell you this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I have the hat that says so.
But I want to say this with the zombie stuff. Like, I can't deal with the zombies that are like dead, because in my brain, the left side of my brain is like, if they're dead, they're gonna decompose, and they're not supposed to be able to walk at all because their muscle, everything is going to like die, like their cell death.
Dude.
Nothing will work, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
I always think like, but the tendons would be rotten.
Yeah. What muscles are they using? There's no more reflex action in their muscles. Like it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yo,
Yeah.
I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
There was a someone wrote a paper scientifically why not vampires, zombies wouldn't work, and why that's never something you have to worry about. And my favorite one, the one that always sticks in my head, is a zombie would never survive a winter.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Or
read
this-
World War Z?
I started
Yes.
it. I started
Didn't
it.
read it. Watch the movie.
No.
Sorry.
Well, so the book's really different.
Oh
and
my
the
god, it's
book-
so great. It's
The
from,
book
like,
actually does
perspective-
have
I think
a
there's
chapter
another
with
one,
that because they go up to
Really?
because they go up to Canada. There's a family. There's one chapter because the book is all. It's not just like one character and their experience. The book is like interviews with people who have survived the zombie
When I'm done with
apocalypse,
that,
which is now over.
I'll lend it to you. It's pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good, but they're all like really, really different takes. Like every single chapter is a different person being interviewed. There are some people who have like 2 chapters, but there's one that's a family and they were escaping. They were just going north, and that's what people said at the time. They're like, "Oh, it's safe in Canada. We'll go to Canada." So they went to Canada, and they almost all of them just starved to death. But the zombies couldn't function correctly in the cold.
Well, the movie.
It's a gift and a curse in a situation like that. What do? Do you try to survive off of a tundra that doesn't really have any like vegetation during the
Because I think they became cannibals after a while because they were just
which in turn is the irony of it. Is,
ultimate irony. Yeah.
But there has to be some.
Oh, for the record, that's the correct way to use irony.
That's not coincidence, people.
Alanis Morissette was wrong.
Nothing in is ironic is ironic.
There was some coincidences,
some whimsical.
some happenstances.
Happenstance is a great word, by the way.
Happenstance is a great word. Yes, it is. I'm not too sure what the definition is, but I think it fits.
You can.
It does.
Yes. Okay. Good. All right.
Root words, man. Root words.
Yeah. But anyways, I'll finish with this. Like any scary movie that I like has to have, except for The Lost Boys, has to have some type of like scientific anchor to it because I'm just like
You should read The Bone Eater King.
I will read
What is the Bone Eater King?
We don't have to swing back around. I'm just saying.
So if the author wasn't here, I'd be like, yo, old man, when you read it, swing that shit over here.
You're swinging like Batman's dick.
Did you see a movie called Sunshine?
Yes.
Chris Evans was in it.
It was good, right?
It's good, yeah.
Oh,
really good.
shit like that is crazy. Like, because I can't spoil it for you either. Like, I can't say it.
That
has to do with the
movie
sun.
has such an insanely amazing cast.
Yes.
Sunshine. Oh my god, like Mark
Is that
Strong's in
Contra?
it.
Did you see the movie Life?
Yeah.
I didn't see
It's almost like Life, but good.
It's yeah,
Life as in,
life
like,
was
Martin
okay.
Lawrence.
Life
Eddie
was,
Murphy?
but
Like Martin Lawrence, Eddie
You know what?
No,
I'm thinking
no,
Solar.
Ryan Reynolds
I'm thinking
is in it.
Solar. I'm not thinking.
Sunshine.
Sunshine is Chris Evans and Mark Strong
Damn.
and Cillian Murphy and Rose Byrne.
Can we just say, like, I think people sleep on how good of an actor Chris Evans is.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Like Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, this is
like Snowpiercer was my shit.
That's a
Like,
good one.
like when I saw Snowpiercer, I was like engaged the whole.
oh my god,
movie.
no.
I just want to say
Michelle Yeoh's in
their
it,
plan was not
and-
scientifically
and this-
accurate at all.
this dude who
But
I can't say his name correctly.
it was dope. Everything was dope. It was dope.
So I take it you like the Alien Covenant and Prometheus then, right?
I did
I
like
do.
Prometheus. I did like Prometheus.
I
did.
really liked
I liked Prometheus. This. It wasn't really a good like aliens movie, but like I like the world building. Like Ridley Scott, his world building is like ridiculous. I love it.
I liked Covenant, but I wasn't crazy about it because it was
Which one was
It
Covenant?
was
Was that the one with,
predictable.
Fassbender?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna
It
say
was.
this, and I know
It
I'm
was.
gonna get shit for it. That might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Really? Covenant?
Which one? What's the second?
Prometheus?
Covenant.
No, Covenant.
Covenant was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I
You
felt
need
like
to
they
see
rushed
some
it.
more bad movies.
I felt like it should have been like a 3-part.
I've seen Grizzly Rage, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, and I would
Sir.
watch both of those
Sir.
before I watch.
There's another
You're
one
speaking
coming out.
absurdities right now, sir.
The thing I was disappointed in was that how they ended the like what are they called engineers?
Yeah.
And then how he ended their. I was expecting like a lot crazier.
Well, so were those engineers, or were those just more beings that the engineers created? Because all the engineer people look like human-ish.
You're right.
And they didn't have the right eyes.
You're right.
And this is
they didn't have the right eyes. They didn't look perfect. They were a little bit different.
Yeah.
So now, okay, Ridley Scott has come out and said that they are engineers, but a lot of people were saying like
you could always
they're not engineers though. They're probably just, this is not their home planet. This is just another planet that they seeded.
Which I wish that was it. But.
Yeah, I liked both of them a lot actually.
Yeah.
I know it's technically the unpopular opinion. Most people feel what you did.
Really? I thought I had the unpopular opinion.
No.
People hate that movie.
No, people hate it.
Like, I think we're probably going to be kicked out of any nerd groups.
Pretty much.
You can get kicked out of a nerd group for saying anything, man. So before, I got another question.
Criminally predictable, though, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg, you have really good scary movie taste.
I just love scary movies.
And you need to scare me on vampires.
Scary movie and hip hop. Like, I go to Greg for that. Not that trash ass playlist you sent me.
Well, okay. First of all, that was on purpose. All right, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go to mine. It's real simple. Probably my favorite horror movie is Cabin in the Woods. It's campy.
I liked it.
It was
Love
campy.
it, yeah.
The story was really good. It left you with a sense like that could be the end of it. They could do another one. I like the fact that all the jokes kind of seem to come back full circle. It poked fun of all the stupid shit that like we think is ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? So I love Cabin in the Woods. Was probably my favorite horror movie.
I really loved it. Yeah.
You got one?
Stuff. Can I have two?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not scared by any movie ever, so let's just deal with it.
Except for Event Horizon.
None. I really love that pick.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my pick, but I do really like that movie. I saw it in the theater. So I would say my favorite horror movie of all time is The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935.
Oh, you went way back.
That's avant-garde.
What's that?
Avant-garde.
Yeah.
I gotta say that Frankenstein's probably my favorite like movie monster though. He's completely misunderstood.
I love old horror movies. I love black and white horror movies and stuff. The Universal horror movies are favorites of mine. But even though I write vampires, Frankenstein's my favorite. I mean, Karloff as the monster is so my favorite.
Were you excited about are you disappointed about the Tom Cruise franchise?
No, because I think that their heart was in the wrong place. I think they didn't understand.
That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
See, I think that honestly, you could really draw a line of comparison, and feel free to disagree. I feel with all the DCU movies, I feel like that Warner Brothers sort of doesn't understand what makes the characters great. They're sort of just shooting at stuff and stabbing in the dark, and they don't really understand. And I felt that way about that Mummy movie. I think that, and before it, remember that was the second or third false start. They originally started talking about that shared universe with the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro.
Was that any good?
No, it didn't. It was okay, but it didn't really do well. Then they were talking about it again with Dracula Unleashed or whatever.
What was? Okay, sorry.
I enjoyed it.
It was a good action movie.
I enjoyed like half of it. And then the second half was just preposterously stupid, and it was all CG. It's like but I like the beginning.
I have to agree with that because it kind of just seemed like it went from this story about how he becomes Dracula to this whole thing where it was like a race against time.
And that's what WB does. Like, they change their minds in the middle of filming freaking movies.
Yeah.
They probably decided, let's make this a franchise. Like, halfway through.
And then the last 3 minutes of the movie where all the stuff goes on, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to give me more.
Well, and it was... I think the last half hour was just like him fighting CG people.
Yeah.
Like for half an hour.
Whole
like,
30 minutes. Whole Simpsons episode.
A poorly CG.
And I like Luke Evans. I thought he was good. I love Charles Dance, who was the creepy vampire that turned him, and he was also Tywin Lannister on Game of Thrones. Like, I love him. He was also the bad guy in the Golden Child, my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. And
Brother Noomsy.
Yeah, Brother Noomsy. You got it. Nice. I want the knife.
I wish I was recording you doing that.
This is awesome.
You know what? What was another one?
Charles Dance. Oh, and Charles Dance was in Aliens 3, which nobody likes, but I like it.
I liked it. Ripley was a robot.
The prison.
What? No, he wasn't a robot. He was a prison doctor.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't Ripley a robot in that one?
No,
Was that the one she
Ripley was
died?
never a robot in any of those.
She was like half alien.
A clone.
That one she wasn't. That was when she had her true death.
Oh, and she like fell back.
Yeah, she fell back into the molten lead or whatever.
What was it? Resurrection?
Yeah.
that
The
was
fourth
his-
one they had cloned her and mixed her DNA with a alien, and it was goofy.
Went down from there.
Did everybody see? Damn, I just had it. It Comes at Night.
I feel like I did, but I don't think so. I feel like it's something
With the boy, the little kid. Or is it?
No.
I
That's
don't
it.
know.
Not.
I don't think so.
You said you had another one.
Oh yeah, so yeah. So Bride of Frankenstein is like my all-time favorite, but it's not scary. I'm just literally gonna go with Alien.
Would you consider that a scary movie?
Alien and not aliens.
Just the first one is the horror movie. Aliens
It's the
is an
action.
amazing sequel,
Yeah.
but it's an action movie.
Yo,
Alien
I
1,
dig that. Yeah.
Alien 1 is scary as fuck. Now
Yes.
I'm not scared by it, but
Yeah.
it is objectively a scary
Now
movie.
tell me the truth. And I'm bringing this up again because you say you weren't scared, and I'm the same way. Like,
Yeah.
it's very hard for. Like, I'm not scared.
I can tell where it would be scary.
There's one movie.
It's
that's
like
scary.
dudes. I'm like, I can see where this guy's attractive. I get it.
The only movie that's ever scared me as an adult, or even like a
Like
late
that
teen to
big?
adult, is Event Horizon. You're telling me
Okay.
Event Horizon did not scare you?
I mean, it's a freaky fucking movie.
All right, that's enough. Okay, that's good enough. Okay.
I mean, that movie's great. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in years, but
Yeah, I
man,
just remember that
really
shit
good
was
cast
scary.
too.
All right, sorry. Yeah. That's crazy.
What about VHS?
Oh, I never saw it.
I know it's on there. I wanted to watch it, but I haven't.
What about Sinister? You guys see the Sinister movies?
No, I haven't watched
seen
none of the
those,
Marrow
right?
movies.
Yeah. But,
He's like, I'm not watching it.
okay, fair enough.
I watched the trailer. I'm like, is it in the house? Oh, it is. No.
You know-
I will say this though. Now, this coming from a person who's like an intensely big fan of haunted house movies myself.
Yeah.
That's not a haunted house movie.
It's not.
It does. A lot of it does take place in a
comes
house.
outside.
It's not. Yeah, they go outside.
What are your thoughts on is it Insidious? The Insidious series.
I never saw them.
Really?
I saw the last-
Is that the one related to the nun?
No.
No, that's
think so.
Annabelle.
Yeah, I'm
universe.
supposed to see that.
Annabelle
couple days,
Creation.
That's what's the original though? The paranormal, not paranormal.
Oh, I know
Activity.
what The
what is it?
Conjuring.
The Conjuring. And I liked that. I liked the first
I
one.
don't think I've seen The Conjuring. I think that's one of the few ones I haven't seen.
I hate.
Do you know
I
what was
hate horror
trash?
movies that try to make people think
That's a
they're real.
haunted house movie though.
You know what movie was
That
trash?
is
It was like-
totally a
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
house.
Mama.
I gave it a try.
I haven't seen
Did
it.
you
I
like
heard
it?
a lot about it.
All right.
Same feeling I got from all the other haunted houses.
Gotcha.
Haunted house movies.
I hate when they try to make.
I would
movies
give Sinister
seem,
a
like,
shot.
Real.
It's not a haunted house movie, definitely.
I'll look
Like you go like this really
I'll add it to the
happened.
list.
No promises.
So,
And I like the sequel too.
how he was saying, like, just now he was like, he hates when, what'd you say?
Like when they like the. What's the movie we were just talking about?
The Conjuring?
The Conjuring. So The Conjuring, at the end they show like these people really existed.
Yeah.
This family, like this wife and husband really did this. I'm like, they're either lying
Yeah.
or they're insane. That's one of two things.
I mean, they were con artists.
Okay.
It's true. Like the family has come out. Like various people have come out that were victimized by these.
Okay, all right.
These husband and wife team. They were absolutely con artists.
So you're telling me there wasn't a possessed doll?
There
You can't prove it.
that is actually based on a real story.
Yeah.
The real Annabelle doll is less scary. It's a Raggedy Ann doll.
You know, I actually know a ghost hunter. He's one of my references.
Nice.
And
That's cool. I actually know the guy who's like the number 1 or number 2 Edgar Allan Poe impersonator in the
Yeah.
country. Shout out to Rob Villela. There you go, Rob.
that's pretty cool. All right. So we all have connections to ghost and
Yeah,
horror.
sure.
You know a movie I love? One of my favorite vampire movies? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh yeah.
I have not watched that yet.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Oh my god. Movie day. I own it. I own it on
So
Blu-ray.
Anthony Mackie's in that movie.
Yes, he is.
I don't like when they make things like that during slavery times.
But it was a comic book first.
I don't give a shit. I don't even
Let
like
me
comic
tell
books. My friend gave
Well,
me.
you can't. You gotta be able to get behind Abe.
I am behind
Fuck
Abe.
Can we say fuck Abraham Lincoln?
No, I'm not
Nobody
gonna
can
fuck
say
Abe.
that.
I'm saying fuck Abraham Lincoln.
Why?
He didn't want to free the slaves.
But he did.
Did he? Did he?
Not- Now I can remember. The last good vampire movie I've seen was Let Me In.
That's what with the little boy.
I loved that movie.
Well, was it a little boy or a little girl?
Well,
Little girl.
Little girl. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, little girl.
The first. I know what you're about to say.
Is she technically a vampire?
There's two versions of it.
Well, in the original,
Yeah.
they reveal at the end it's a boy.
Yeah, there's
It's
two
a boy,
versions. of it.
okay.
Yeah.
But they make you think the whole time it's a girl, and then they reveal at the very end. It's in the original version.
It's a
I
French.
think the original version too. I forgot.
There's a scene and it's like
It's a dope movie. So those are the type of horror movies.
There's a lot of movies that came over that started out like being Japanese films and like French films that came overseas to where we are in like.
Old Boy.
I never saw Old Boy. You're mentioning like all these movies I never saw.
Oh.
I'm supposed to be like an expert in
How do you
horror.
think I feel?
If you like horror, oh man, you're onto some Korean horror movies are freaking awesome. You know, like The Train to Busan.
Oh, never
Oh
saw.
my god! I saved that on my Netflix. I heard it was good.
Watch it before the sequel comes out. It's so good.
I've seen The Host. I think
The
that's
host is really good. It wasn't as good as people hyped it up.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but the monster was really well done.
Yeah, but Korean cinema is awesome. It really is. Like Old Boy.
I mean, I love me some Toho. I love me some Japanese cinema.
Oh wait, are we getting deep? All right. What's your favorite Japanese film?
Oh God.
Oh, I don't know. Let's go with let's just stick with okay, you know what? There's an awesome. This is a deep cut.
Yeah.
This is my answer. This is my Japanese answer to your Event Horizon. You ready?
Right,
There's this movie called Sweet Home. Okay, it was from the late.
One Reese Witherspoon?
No, that is Sweet Home Alabama, and you got to say it like that.
Did Scarlett Johansson play the black guy?
I must have missed that one.
That was a good one.
Sweet Home. Okay, so this is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So late '80s. It's a Toho, which is the company that made Godzilla. Haunted house movie, right? It's a haunted house movie. It is incredibly fucked up and gory.
Yeah.
High body count, and it has never been to this day released on DVD.
Really?
But there was a Nintendo game, 8-bit NES.
Jesus Christ. All right.
That was it was developed at the same time, and it was the basis for the people who made Resident Evil. Got the whole idea because of friggin' Sweet Home.
Sweet Home. Is there? How do you get this? Okay, the internet.
It's on YouTube.
I'm a millennial.
It's on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramen Cowboy. Not a horror film, but it's one of my favorite Japanese films ever. It's hilarious. It pokes fun at like Japanese culture in a way that even us Westerners can understand.
Really
It's
feel like I've
dope.
heard of it.
You probably have. If you're a film buff and you like Japanese films, you've heard of it, even if you haven't watched.
I mean, I like bad Japanese films.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if saying Godzilla movies makes me an expert in Japanese films.
I'm
Sweet Home.
not an expert. I took one Japanese art history class and I got upset.
That is more than that is
Alright,
one
alright.
more than me.
All right. Sorry about that.
What's it? I've seen Old Boy and a bunch
Geeked out
of
for a
Pokemon
little bit.
episodes. I ain't got nothing.
I geeked out a little bit.
I play Street Fighter. That's all I got.
Damn. Sorry guys. That was a geek moment. We do
So-
those sometimes.
So are there any for you guys? Are there any besides the Twilighting in the Sun? Are there any staples for you guys? We didn't even bring up Blade.
I know. I was gonna work it in, and yeah,
Like-
Blade. So I was gonna say, you know what?
Some
You know what's
motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I like about certain types of monsters and certain types of things. Like you can do it with zombies, but I think vampires are really, really versatile, right? Because like we've said, okay, you can have a splatterfest, gory horror movie in 30 Days of Night. You can have a romantic, cheeseball romantic teen love fest in Twilight. You can have an action movie that's like one of the best action movies
You can
ever.
have the Monster Squad.
And you can have the Monster Squad.
I love that fucking movie though.
And
That's all in Underworld.
Oh shit, you bring up Underworld either.
was dope. Underworld was dope.
Yeah.
Queen of the Damned. Sexy
I-
Lestats.
I've seen it once
That's
in a
not-
movie theater and I've never gone back to read it.
Yo, it hurts me seeing Aaliyah in that way.
Vampire in Brooklyn starring Eddie Murphy.
That was the shit. Okay.
I hate that movie, but actually,
This is the second podcast that I have defended Vampire in Brooklyn.
You don't have to
Okay.
defend it. You got to defend it here.
We're all from the.
Whoa. What's that look for, man?
I never seen it.
Really?
What the fuck?
Damn. Your mom probably.
I just never seen
I had to sneak out to watch that movie, so I'm
It's
pretty
got
sure.
the bang 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 guy from Friday in it.
Oh, that guy.
Eddie
Witherspoon?
Murphy.
Yeah,
Witherspoon.
something Witherspoon.
I can't remember his first name, but Witherspoon. John Witherspoon. But I loved
The guy from
not Poetic Justice.
the
Oh,
college-
friggin' Angela Bassett is in that movie though.
Yeah.
She don't age. I swear she's a vampire.
Have you seen her lately? They have pictures of her.
She's
Dude,
still
she was in
fine.
Black Panther. She looked amazing.
Auntie Ramonda.
And she had white hair. She was like, everybody wanted her to be Storm for like the entire 90s.
Fun fact: she was going to be Storm, but her agent wanted more money. Not her. Her agent wanted more money, and that's why she didn't get the role.
Ridiculous. And we got friggin' Halle Berry.
That never happened. I'm not even going to acknowledge that was even a thing.
How do you ruin Storm and Catwoman?
Oh my god.
Damn.
I'll give her this though. She did go up and accept her Razzie Award.
Yeah, she did.
Like, did she
did.
wear the same dress she wore when she got her Oscars?
She did, and did the same speech.
Awesome. Awesome. There is a God in heaven.
All right. Well, we're close to an hour. We're at an hour. I don't know if you guys want to run down real quick. I wanted to discuss this with you guys because you actually want to talk about it. Your favorite Marvel. See, I was going to go movies. Do you guys have a favorite comic book action scene?
Action scene within the comic book?
Within a comic book movie.
Within a comic book movie?
Within a comic book movie.
Oh man, I could go now.
Yeah.
I've got
Go
it.
ahead.
Like literally, I love it so much. I didn't even have to think about it. Okay, the scene in Winter Soldier when Cap fights Bucky for the first time on the bridge.
That's a solid. That's a solid.
That
choice.
fight scene, that hand-to-hand fight scene with a knife, and Bucky keeps like switching hands with the knife. The beats of that fight scene are like, oh my god,
And then it
so
ends with
intense.
such an emotional moment.
Oh,
Bucky,
dude,
who the hell is Bucky? I was like, there was one of those moments where they got it
I
almost perfect.
love that scene. That's still one of my favorite.
I still think that's the best Marvel Comics movie. That's come out.
Winter Soldier is just ridiculous. Oh my god, I love that movie.
Greg, you got a favorite Marvel Comics movie or fight scene? I'm surprised you don't have a movie though.
Movie?
Yeah.
Shit. I'll just
Blade
say
does
Infinity
count.
War. But
They were so good.
fight scene, I can't think of one.
I'm gonna say something, and all y'all might look at me weird. The Iron Man trilogy is overrated as fuck. I thought the first one. I had gone back and tried to revisit the first one. It's okay.
What's overrated?
Iron Man? The franchise. I thought the third one. Third one was my favorite
Dog.
because it was more of a Tony Stark.
I love you to death, bro, but
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The ending of that was trash.
Yeah.
But like everything leading up to it was more Tony Stark. It was him
Without the armor.
without the armor. So we got more Robert Downey Jr., more Tony Stark than we did anything else. I feel like whenever he was Iron Man in that movie was when it was bad. Like him flipping from armor to armor, and then the giant throwaway with the stupid fucking fireworks, and that was bad.
yeah, that's what ruined it for me because that was supposed to be like, because they were talking about that was like the last Iron Man movie, and like this was a swan song,
Yeah.
and whatever, and
So
that's how you're gonna
also a
end
great
it.
phrase.
That's how you're gonna end it, and then you're gonna give the Chinese audience, who I love and deserve respect, a little snippet by just giving them that end where the Chinese doctors take the medal. Was
Okay.
that in
That is
3
that
or
one.
2?
That is 3.
Yeah, that annoyed me. Like I'm like, yo, I would be offended. Like, just whatever. I hate that movie so much.
Do you want to speak on that, Greg?
I hate that movie so much.
Iron Man, I enjoyed it. The first time I saw it, I enjoyed it. The second one I thought was good. The third one I wasn't crazy about.
It was hard. And the thing is, I really like the Extremis story plot in the comics.
Me too.
So did I.
Me too.
It was awesome, and they had an animated Extremis
They did the
that was-
motion comic.
that was better. Yeah, the motion comic that was
Yeah.
better than the movie.
His villains were terrible too.
Well, yeah,
Iron
in
Man
the
doesn't
comics,
have-
yeah.
Iron Man
Like
doesn't
living
have-
laser and
I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think about
I mean-
it, how many comic book characters actually have good villains?
oh my god, so, like it's such a short list. For me, it's like Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, nobody.
Spider-Man doesn't really have good villains.
Are we talking about like the main protagonist of comic books, or can we go? Can we?
Daredevil has good villains.
Yeah.
Daredevil he has Bullseye, he's got Mr. Fear, he's got the Kingpin, he's got Elektra, he's got Lady Bullseye, He's got good villains.
You don't think Spider-Man has good villains?
Spider-Man has great villains.
Spider-Man has like
I can beat the
villains.
Vulture in a fight.
I think other than the
Yeah, but
X-Men,
that's the only one. Doc Ock will rock you, bro.
Oh, I'll throw a ho-ho at Doc Ock.
my God, like
I'll give it like 3 diabetes.
all the fun animals. Like he's got like all these animals. He's got like,
Hold up.
he's
But
got,
watch
like,
this stuff. They explain that. They explain why all Spider-Man.
it's like the totems or something.
So the fact J. Michael Straczynski explained all that, and I thought it was cool that he broke it down to like why each hero has a certain villain. Like the X-Men have Magneto. Captain America has a Nazi. So it kind of makes sense.
The Magneto villain, the Magneto Charles Xavier dynamic is a little clunky. It makes sense at the time, but I think they kind of adjusted it over. Like that relationship definitely changed.
It definitely
over
started
time.
out bad though.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the X-Men comics in the '60s were like abysmal, and nobody liked them.
Yeah, but they became frenemies throughout.
But even
Yeah, they
so,
got
they're fighting
He
ordeals.
became amazing. I mean, I think Magneto's one of the best written characters in comics. But
And it's funny you bring that up. Like, I'm a fan of Wolverine. Wolverine didn't start getting good till like the mid '90s.
okay,
Like, you know what I mean? Because before that, he was cool, but it wasn't until like the mid '90s where he started to.
He was a Hulk villain.
originally, long time ago.
Shit, Sabretooth was an Iron Fist villain. First appearance.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
First appearance of Sabretooth
Oh my
was
God, I
Iron
never knew
Fist.
that. That's crazy.
You know, the whole thing was like he was like blind. It was like Iron Fist blinded by the snow against the savage Sabretooth or something like that. But Sabretooth was like $1.50.
Well, Greg, do you have a favorite fight scene in comic book universes?
That's right. You're not going to go with the fight scene with Batman and Batman.
Greg is shaking his head no for the listening audience.
No,
I'm just being
sorry.
You're not going to go anything from Batman v Superman. Go on.
sorry.
Go ahead and defend that movie.
I like that movie. That's all I gotta say. I like the movie.
You like Batman vs.
Did I think it was amazing? No.
It was about a 7. I'd give Batman vs Superman about a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
It
what
wasn't.
I give Batman a 10.
Ben Affleck was awesome.
I give Superman a 0.5. So what does that average to?
Hit the brakes. You give Henry Cavill.
Come on,
0.5?
Henry Cavill.
I don't give Henry Cavill. I'm not talking about the actors.
Oh,
I think
The role in the movie that
in
they
that
wrote
movie
for him
was
sucked.
stupid.
the
Batman
writing on that movie was god awful.
Yeah.
Like I almost walked out of that movie when the bats were carrying Bruce Wayne after he fell. I got up in a movie theater, threw my hands up, and was like, "Done." And I almost walked out. I was so mad at that. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" But again, this is from the guy who did Sucker Punch. So
What did you think about that scene? The first real Batman fight scene when he like beat up all those dudes in that warehouse. That was pretty.
that was
was
shit.
great.
That was pretty lit. That was my favorite fight scene in that. movie.
You know what my favorite Batman scene in any movie is?
What?
And I'm dead serious. And you and I spoke about this in the last episode I was on.
The one that disappeared fucking makes me mad.
No, it's the one that's out there. Our episode is the Batman cameo in Suicide Squad because he shows up and he is just Batman.
I remember you saying that.
Being Batman, day in the life, and he picks up Deadshot. I
think
fucking loved it. He felt like Batman, and like for the first time.
It was like in and out.
That's one of my favorite Batman scenes as well. Like,
Did you notice that he was actually killing people?
Yeah.
In Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
When I watched, I was like, holy shit!
We even said Superman kills people.
His kill count in Batman Returns is ridiculous. Oh my god! He kills like circus performers left and right. These people are just trying to make ends meet.
He put a bomb on a dude and then smiled.
He smiled about it. He's like psychotic.
He kicked the dude off of.
Tim Burton's a sick man, bro.
Yo, my favorite was when he put the dude in the leg lock and then flipped him off the bell tower.
Okay.
And the guy was just falling like curled in a ball. It was the greatest.
Yo, if you had nipples on your bat suit, you'd be a little orange.
He didn't.
too.
He didn't. Though.
He didn't. That was Batman.
Of course he did.
Batman
That was
and
Michael
Batman
fucking
and Robin,
Keaton.
Batman and Robin.
Michael fucking Keaton doesn't need bat
That
nipples.
was
Yo,
And he also doesn't need bat charge cards. American Bat Express or whatever.
look, I liked Batman and Robin because it was so stupid.
It was.
It was a giant piece of shit.
It was.
If you ever want to have fun, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to have fun, me, Diddy, and Miss Lady played this game where you watch Batman and Robin, and every time Mr. Freeze made an ice pun, you had to make an ice pun. If you didn't make an ice pun, you had to drink.
Now, could you repeat ice puns, or they all had to be 100% new?
No. You couldn't make the same ice pun, and it
Okay.
couldn't be one from the movie.
Oh, that's cold.
Shit.
That was a good one.
That was good.
You gotta take that.
I like that.
So but yeah. So Javi, you got one?
I do actually. Emil, the guy that turns into the Abomination in the Hulk movie with
I will slap you with Batman's.
him versus Hulk.
I will slap you with
I thought
Batman's.
that was dope.
You're joking, right?
In the college quad.
The what?
In the college quad.
So not when he's up Abomination, when he's just blonde skin.
When he's just
Oh, I thought you were talking about I thought he was talking about absorbing man in the first one.
Oh, come on.
I was like, this dude's got to be joking.
When he's fighting his dad.
Oh, Nick Nolte?
Yeah.
That was stupid.
What did I say about him in that article? Like Nick Nolte's running around like every banner is supposed to be intimidating, but he's walking around like he's constipated.
Pretty much.
That was not a good movie. I blame
No.
that on the director. Who was that?
Ang Lee.
Ang Lee, yes. That was just
Not a cool movie.
not
That's
a cool
for
movie at
sure.
all. But yeah, I like that fight scene.
That was good. It was like the first
yeah.
time we actually really got
Yeah.
to see the whole.
And yeah, he transforms like in that glass corridor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
and exactly, and especially at the time, I was thinking that scene must have been very difficult to film because you had the giant CGI Hulk, and he's fighting, a live person. The way they did it
Is
was
that
really,
the
it was
part
really
where
well.
he ends up kicking him and
Is that all you
just
got?
slides back and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
feel like every bone in his body just broke.
Like he's at the end of the fight, he's in it ends the way it should end. Like at first, he's giving him he's going against the Hulk. I'm like,
Oh, he's just shooting him.
yeah, but
and then he was like,
he doesn't get stopped right away. But then
I love how the Hulk looked at him like,
yeah,
really, we're doing this?
yeah. Like whatever super serum he had going through his veins, really.
Yeah, it was like
that had him on some
the
delusional.
low rent.
Yeah, and I like
Cap
it because
serum.
it ended the way that fight should have ended.
It was
with
all-
him in a hospital room in traction.
Yeah. Kind of okay serum.
Can I say one thing about that movie though? There's this general feeling I have about certain comic book movies where I feel like when they try to worry about the logic too much, it almost works against them. I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Knight cycle of the Batman movies. I'm not a huge fan. But
They're overrated.
yeah, some of the decisions they made, he's like, oh well, I have different companies making parts of the Batsuit around the world, so nobody knows they're making it and stuff. It's like, okay, well that's cool. And then they're like, oh well, we're not going to actually say that he has a Batmobile because that would be stupid. We're never going to call it the Batmobile. I'm like, you know what? Fucking call it the goddamn Batmobile. You just oh well, Wolverine would never wear his mask because that's stupid. Why would he ever wear a mask? You know what? Just fucking put the mask on. Shut the fuck up. Well, in that Hulk movie, I lost my train of thought completely.
Pretty much,
Please continue.
Stretching reality.
What was I gonna say?
Or not? They're not willing to
Oh, I know.
make comic book aesthetic.
Right.
Changes
They're
because of-
just
yeah, yeah.
overthinking it. So Abomination, that's where I was
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
So Abomination, they're like, oh, well, there's no reason he would have fish fins for ears.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do this thing where he gets these injections and then the bones grow. And
Yeah.
so he's going to have this bony spine and bony elbows. It's okay. But he looked like shit.
But they changed that. I think what the modern MCU is doing, they're adjusting it for the films, but
For
they're
sure.
pretty comic book accurate.
Absolutely.
They're doing
And I think that was right on that cusp where they're like, okay, Iron Man will work, nothing else will.
Yeah.
It's no, just put Thor in a movie. Just fucking do it. Who cares?
And they finally got it right with Ragnar. Well, not right, I should say, but they finally had a rewatchable Thor movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like-
I like them all, but my God.
You like Dark World?
I do.
Jeez, get out.
I like parts of Dark World.
Oh.
I think
You get out your house,
I think
Get out your house.
Greg, you're cool. What do you think about Dark World?
Dark World?
Thor 2.
Oh, I don't even think I watched it.
Yeah, you can stay.
I kind of feel like with Thor: Dark World, it was like Jane Foster was in that movie way too much.
And she phoned it in. She clearly didn't want to be there. She wasn't happy because Patty Jenkins, the Wonder Woman director, was supposed to direct that movie. And then she...
Really?
Yeah, and she was all set and they were so happy. And something happened and there was a contract dispute or something happened and she exited. And Natalie Portman wanted to leave too.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we have
She
you on
should've
this.
left.
Your
She
signature
should've
is on this piece of paper.
So Thor 2
should've-
could have been a good movie.
No.
Well,
I trust in
don't
that
think
director.
yeah.
I will say this though, and to your point about them not taking things, and not taking things. What was I looking for? not making things comic book accurate because of A, B, and Z. Like Malekith,
Yeah, like they're just overthinking.
like Malekith was just the fucking worst.
Malekith should have been a persistent enemy.
Looks wise, though, he was really great. I thought.
Yeah, but he
And
was
then they had a
totally-
reason for half his face to be black and stuff. I mean, you know, they filmed a lot of stuff that wasn't in the movie, and the actor who played Malekith, just like can't think of his name right now. He I don't know, Doctor Who guy. He said that there were like scenes with the character's wife and kids, and you got to find out like their life before, and then the Asgardians came down and like wiped them out, and then you got to find out why the Dark Elves hated them, and then they turned it
story plot.
Yeah, so actual plot, and then they actually just ended up saying, "Yeah, it's too long. We'll just say that there was darkness before, and he wants everything to go back to darkness." It's like, okay, well, that doesn't
so
make any
stupid.
fucking sense.
That's a very DCEU move to make.
Yeah, it's a shame. I do like the movie though. I have to admit. And you know, back to Iron Man. Iron Man is my favorite. He's my favorite Avenger from forever. I love Tony. I love Iron Man. I like all three movies. I actually think the third one might be my favorite. I do actually really like it. I know that's the unpopular opinion, but I like the.
Well, you have a brother in arms here.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't really like the. Overall, he just said they were.
I thought the trilogy was overrated.
I wasn't three was your favorite.
3 was my favorite out of the 3.
But he still.
You said 3 was your favorite Marvel movie, didn't you say that?
No.
Okay.
No, he said the whole trilogy is overrated. But
If I had
of
to
the
go with my
three,
favorite MCU movie, I'd probably go the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
I
don't think
that's
it's the-
high.
I don't think-
that is high.
I don't know if it's not the best. Because I can separate the
Oh, I thought you said Winter Soldiers.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier's absolutely the best. I think Winter Soldier's the best, followed by maybe Guardians, and then probably Infinity War, and then Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like,
What about I love Civil War though too.
I have mixed feelings about Civil War.
Is that because of the comic book?
No,
Civil War has one of my favorite villains.
I hated him, man.
Really?
Oh my god, I couldn't stand fucking Baron Zemo.
He was the most.
Don't say Baron.
It was
Baron
Zemo.
Baron Emo.
Baron Zemo and Killmonger, I think, were the most effective villains.
Wow, I've never heard anybody put Zemo on the list.
I can't
Because
debate that part though.
He
really was.
destroyed the Avengers. Like he literally did it with.
I'm going to debate that again. General Thaddeus Ross destroyed the Avengers.
How?
He was the one who initially got the plan in motion before the
Sokovia Accords?
He was the one who set everything in motion for the Superhero Registration Act.
How?
Baron Zemo, because he was the one who who told them, after was not Sokovia, the one when they were in Africa and Crossbones blew up.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was Civil War. That was the beginning of Civil War.
But it was because of Sokovia was the made up nation that that Ultron floated.
And they blamed the Avengers for some. Well, it's technically Tony Stark's fault.
Well, it was Tony Stark's fault. Who is a Kree, by the way?
Who?
Not a Kree. He's a
Skrull.
Skrull.
Oh no way.
Nah.
He's
No way.
He did Tony Stark.
No way.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of have that theory as well.
Really?
No
If
way.
they're gonna give him some time off. Like I think him and Captain America are gonna quote unquote die in this next one. In the final scene, we're gonna see like Cap and like Tony Stark, like their bodies are gonna be with the Skrulls, and then they're gonna experiment on them. But they have to be alive for them to have like live tissue, so they'll bring them back to life and then go from there.
Well, Tony Stark's kind of stranded on a planet on Titan right now, isn't he? So
Right.
he has to get back to Earth somehow.
Who's
True.
I'm trying to think who could come and get him. Well, he's there with
Well, Thor could go get him.
who's the other one? The Gamora's sister.
Oh, Nebula. She's
You know what's
the one.
funny is I can remember her name, Karen Gillian, but I can remember Nebula.
Like what?
Underrated performance. By the
What
way.
an amazingly weird pairing to end the movie. They're like Iron Man and Nebula,
Well, he could give her some
What?
upgrades or something.
or maybe she could give
Him some up.
upgrades.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't.
Alien.
Yo, we
You
are.
watch Venture Brothers?
I've seen some Venture
There's a
Brothers. Yeah.
scene where he goes,
The
one of
Monarch.
the guys gets cancer, and he was like, he sent his body into space. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm sending my body into space to get some alien technology. And he's just in space, wrapped in like an American flag, saluting with a post-it note on his chest that says, fix this.
Venture Brothers was a good series.
It's still on, man. It's fucking dope. It's great season, great show. We're an hour 16 minutes in. We should probably end this, even though I'm pretty sure we all have a lot of shit we want to talk about.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
So plug the book again.
Okay, thanks for having me on, guys. Very, very, very cool.
Thanks for coming on.
Always welcome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. I loved all the horror talk too. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was all comic books. We just randomly kind of slid into that horror talk there. That's
like a Batman penis.
Yeah, she slid in that room like the Batman penis.
One more penis for the road. Pause. Sorry, Greg.
So my name's Steve Van Samson. The book is The Bone Eater King. The sequel is Marrow. They're both available on Amazon right now in paperback and Kindle. And if you happen to be up in Dover, New Hampshire, as I mentioned, please stop by Free Thinker's Corner. It's an awesome bookstore. And say hi to Chris. And I also have a story actually coming up in a new anthology that's coming out in February.
What?
Yeah, it's called the story's called The Terror of London.
Nice.
So when you start promoting that, you're gonna have to come back on again.
Yeah. So this is a book called The Final Summons, which is by the New England Speculative Writers, and this is their first anthology that they've ever done. They're kind of a new group, and there's other awesome authors on that that are in the Final Summons. It's like Morgan Sylvia and Eric Nunnally, and there's like a bunch of great guys and gals. That one's coming out February 2019. So pretty cool. So check that out, and hopefully Amazon and maybe your local bookstore. And I also, running down the list, if I could go quicker. So I'm going to be on an episode of the Throwdown Thursday podcast. Shout out to Ashes Von Nightmare and Patsy the Angry Nerd.
Hold on, I just want to throw it out there that I'm changing her to the Michael Jordan of Merlot.
Oh, not the Michael Phelps of wine?
Nah, she's the Michael Jordan of Merlot.
Oh.
And Patsy the Angry Nerd, shout out to him. Always, he supports the articles and the stuff that I write. And always has. He's actually one of the reasons why I continue to do. He's one of the reasons I continue to do the podcast before Hobby came on, because he's like, just it's real supportive of the stuff I do. So shout out to him.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love those guys, and so I'll be on in a couple weeks. And what they do, their format is they always pick a character to talk about for every episode. And so we're actually I'm really excited. We get to talk about Dracula. So I'm pretty excited. We kind of touched upon it. Yeah, well, we kind of touched upon it though. So it's pretty cool. This was kind of like my practice. I'm also going to be appearing at 2 conventions coming up. I'm going to be in Rock and Shock 2018, and that is Friday and Saturday. I'm going to be there October 13th and 14th, and that's in the DCU Center in Worcester. And I'll be in the New England Horror Writers booth, having a good time. So if you're hanging out and you're wondering if there's any cool books, we're going to have like tons of cool books. Also mine, but tons of other awesome ones. And definitely come by. I'm also going to be at the Spooks and Spirits. That's going to be Saturday, October 20th. And it's from 12 to 6 down in the Dirty Water Distillery in Plymouth, Mass. I think it's a brand new event. I'm really excited to be there. And
what day is that?
It is Saturday, October 20th.
You want to road trip it up there?
I'm down, bro.
It's going to be awesome. From what I hear, there's going to be we're going to do some readings Saturday, October 20th. That's the Dirty Water Distillery in Plymouth, Mass. And it's Spooks and Spirits. So that should be pretty fun. Really looking forward to that. Hopefully get to read some Bone Eater King or a little something. I'm not sure. We'll see. And also, just a little bit unrelated, some other ventures. My band, Enchanted Exile, my metal band. Our new album, which actually Mr. Wade here actually was kind enough to play a track a few months ago.
And I bought the album. I stream other people. I will buy stuff from the people who support me. I bought the album. We were incredibly honored to have you guys to have you do that, because I know you don't actually, your format is not to play music, so that was incredibly. If you ever have any MP3s you guys want to send my way, I will absolutely play it on the show. Awesome. So
when you have a Cribs episode, when you go to the bedroom, you have to say, "This is where the magic happens." This is it. That's the only stipulation.
I do have a studio in my house.
All right, word.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have to show them the studio.
Pretty cool. So here's a little studio.
That's dope.
So the album's called Bloodwork Scriptorium. It's available on Bandcamp, Google Play, and pretty much everywhere digital music is sold and or downloaded illegally. And if listening to four old guys talking about video games that are also really, really old sounds like your thing, well, just please go ahead and hop on YouTube. Check out our video podcast. Retro Redoctopus is the name. It's a little weird of a little weird retro Redoctopus. It's like we're like, well, what's if Redunculus is the super version of ridiculous, then we're gonna come up with a version that's even more ridiculous than Redunculus. So we came up with Redoctopus. So we're retro Redoctopus, and we just talk about old video game crap. And this year we've been doing a series called Of Paint and Pixels, where we compare and contrast like old video game box artwork because they look different in Japan and America and England and sometimes Germany and all this stuff. So we talk about like the different art styles, and it is crazy.
Do a Google search for 4K retro video game titles.
Okay.
So it's all the title screens,
Yeah.
but redone in 4K resolution.
Oh, nice.
It's dope.
Pretty cool.
You might get a kick out of it.
Do you mind if I put I Am the Void at the end of this
Of course not. No, hey.
I fucking love that song.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. That's really cool. So that's it. I'll shut up. I'm done. Thank you very much for having me on, dude. And
Really
thanks,
like
Javi and Wade and Greg.
Really like this episode, old man.
Huh?
I really like this episode.
Yeah.
It's geeky. We haven't had one of those in a while.
Well, we're gonna. Oh, just for the people who know.
If you ever need to make it not real, you just give me a call.
So actually, because Javi had a good idea, we're gonna be heading up to the Rhode Island Comic Con. We don't have a booth, or we're not fancy like that, but we're gonna do a month of dorkiness. Leading up to the Comic Con, so hopefully the people who will see that will see like, oh, it's a month of dorkiness. We're gonna do some roasting. I have some ideas for Latoya for a 30-minute show after we do our regular thing. We still got Javi Supa Woke's political corner. I think I have a segment for Greg. I just want to go common sense with Greg, where I read a stupid story and Greg explains why this is one of the dumbest things he's ever heard. Common sense with just Greg.
I can see that.
I'm just telling him about it now.
We'll talk about that.
Too late. It's already cut on.
Yeah, we already put it on the website. It doesn't exist.
If you've ever seen a league, it is decided. I see. Can I get a damn it, Wade?
Damn it, Wade!
Damn it, Wade!